Stephanie White is not the right coach for Caitlin Clark.
Stephanie White do not want her to shoot threes.
The hell is going on here? I told that she was being thwarted.
Stephanie White will be the reason Caitlin Clark is the reason they lose so many fans.
Head coach Stephanie White is so against Caitlin Clark.
Before being instructed to quit by her own coach Stephanie White, Caitlin Clark was dominating and consuming threes. Why keep the game's biggest star hidden? Put your full support for Caitlin in the comments section right now. Let's communicate. Let her do what she wants to do. Let's dissect this.
This is the game where Caitlin Clark hit five threes in the first half.
It was being illuminated by Caitlin Clark. In the first half, there were 5 threes. The rhythm is flowing, extremely confident.
This is the game where Caitlin was on like an all-time heater and then randomly she just stopped shooting.
Everyone referred to her as being on an all-time heater. She abruptly stopped shooting after that. Not because she cooled off as instructed by her coach.
If I have 2 back-to-back in a row, like I'm probably gonna launch a third that maybe isn't advised by Steph, but like I gotta get it up. And then if the third goes in, like you're just hot. I think as a shooter, like your confidence just builds and builds and builds. It's just coming off your hand better. The rim looks big.
It was Caitlin herself. If I hit 2 or 3 in a row, I'm going to launch a third. She is a star and a shooter, even though it is not recommended.
Stephanie White will be the reason Caitlin Clark is the reason they lose so many fans. I think Stephanie White in general is going to be, I think she's going to be like, go down as the Paul Westhead. And I stand by, the Fever should make a choice.
She thrives on that self-assurance, but the shot stopped when someone obviously attempted to restrain her.
This girl is not allowed to go off. She's not allowed to go off. They don't let her hit 5 or 6 threes. If she hits 2, the sprinklers come off to put the fire out.
Even the game's spectators were in awe. When she's unstoppable, why back off? Fans paid to see this player, so why cool him down?
You cannot rein in a player who plays on instinct like Caitlin Clark does, and whose instincts 80% of the time is to shoot the ball well. More often than she does most of the time, when she does dumb shit, it's because she hasn't touched the ball in a while.
This goes beyond poor coaching. Her identity, flow, and game are all suffering as a result. A shooter is not frozen on fire. Above all, you don't keep Caitlin Clark quiet.
Caitlin Clark is changing and bettering the game for the next generation, and people are going to be able to benefit off the back of Caitlin Clark.
There is more to Caitlin Clark than simply shooting. She represents the WNBA, the reason why arenas are completely booked and why millions of people are watching.
They're not going to win with Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark in college, she said it earlier in this clip as well, that in college she always felt like she was on a heater because whether they won or lost came down to how she shot the ball.
Stephanie White, however, keeps attempting to mold her into a system that stifles her creativity rather than focusing on her talents.
Caitlin's some big star who captivated the nation, who literally had the whole entire nation counting down to the points, each point until she broke the record, Kelsey Plum's record, and then counted down every game.
Clark uses fire, flair, and instinct when playing. However, her coach is promoting emotion-heavy, structured defense that slows down play and takes the ball away from her. Why?
Stephanie White's preferred system relies on the team making tough shots, relying on bad decision makers to make good decisions. It's relying on bad off-ball players to be good off-ball players. It's relying on players not to get in each other's way, which they do a lot.
Because White prefers a system that prioritizes the team over a star-led offense.
If you want Caitlin to play like Sue Bird, Caitlin's not very good as a Sue Bird. Caitlin's not very good at being anyone other than Caitlin Clark, on or off the floor. And I don't think that's Stephanie White realizes that Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark.
Here's the reality, though. Caitlin cannot be changed into someone she is not. Sue Bird is not her. She isn't a point guard who plays roles. She's Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation playmaker who has star power unlike anybody else, vision like wizardry, and range like Steph.
She's not getting good screen set for her. They're not looking for her at all in the half court. The league allowing her to be assaulted, gouged, prodded, tripped, tackled, and zero being done about it. The other player.
You don't only waste talent, when you try to force her to suit your system rather than allowing her take the lead. You run the danger of losing the magic, the momentum, and the fans.
Stephanie White is not the right coach for Caitlin Clark.
The hell is going on here? Yo, I told you that she was being thwarted.
Stephanie White will be the reason Caitlin Clark is the reason they lose so many fans.
Head coach Stephanie White is so against Caitlin Clark. It's clear as day.
This goes beyond a dubious play call or a chilly shooting night. It concerns a certain pattern in which Caitlin Clark's coach Stephanie White, who ought to be enabling her, is holding her back.
I feel like as a shooter, like when you see like 2 or 3 go in, especially like for me, like if I have 2 back-to-back in a row, like I'm probably gonna launch a third that maybe isn't advised by Steph.
Caitlin was on fire, draining threes and electrifying the stadium, but instead of receiving the all clear to continue, she received silence, pause, and a pullback. This hesitation wasn't caused by self-doubt.
So basically, she's saying her coach didn't want her to shoot that 3. And I understand the coach going and saying, we're going to, if you're missing shots, try to get something easier. But like, you can't tell a shooter not to shoot.
It resulted from coaching choices that either explicitly or implicitly instructed her to quit. Even Caitlin herself stated it. Despite the fact that it is not officially recommended, she wants to try the 3rd shot after hitting 2. That's the role of excellent scorers. They ride the wave.
Stephanie White is trying to ruin Caitlin Clark, man. Now, Caitlin Clark went on Sue Bird podcast and dropped major gems, bro. She let it be known that Stephanie White do not want her to shoot threes. Yes, this is not clickbait. Oh my goodness, guys.
However, the fire goes out when your instructor expresses their unequivocal disapproval of such. You reconsider. You give up playing free. It has been viewed by fans. It has been stated by analysts. A system that restricts Caitlin is being asked to play a motion-heavy, pain-focused attack that diverts her from her strongest suit and slows down play.
Literally, Caitlin Clark on a heater being told not to shoot. Not to shoot on a heater. There's not one coach. There are 13 WNBA coaches. 12 of them, when Caitlin Clark makes back-to-back threes, want her to shoot the 3rd.
Stretching the floor, picking up the pace, and firing with assurance, it gets deeper though. Kate Martin, a long-standing comrade, was available for this organization to draft. Someone who is aware of Caitlin's game, cadence, and thinking. They passed her over in favor of athletes who didn't even make it through the season.
And if you're waiting for the Indiana Fever front office to come out and say, yeah, man, we think Caitlin only popular, then don't hold your breath.
It's more than just poor judgment. Ignoring what your star needs to flourish is what it is. It was never intended for Caitlin Clark to fit in. She entered this league with the intention of taking the lead, lighting up arenas, and bringing women's basketball to the forefront like never before. However, she is being treated as a mere participant in the system by her coach. The issue isn't Caitlin Clark. Fans attend because of her, but her coach continues preventing her from doing so. That must end. Lead without boundaries and take Caitlin's chances if you think she should play her game. Put your all into the comments. Allow her to play. Let her take the lead.